What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Crushing Small Stakes PLO. We are playing 25-50 cent here on Ignition, and we are moving up from the 25 PLO just because a few more people were playing the stake. The rake in BB100 is going to be about the same as 25 PLO, and the competition is going to be a little bit tougher, not too much. So it is a rough one to try and beat, but we are going to show what sort of exploits you can make here and how you can actually beat the game even with a high rake structure. We get 3-bit here with the ace 8-9 deuce. With the nut suit, we are going to call here. These guys are both deep against each other, and we will be in position, so we can potentially derive some EV there. Actually going to raise this against the two limpers. It's always nice when you flop the nuts in a 3-bet pot. And we do unblock all of the pairs. It's unlikely that there's many sets here and too many hands that can continue with. But we are going to put out a small stab. Unfortunately, no action. Here we have not much going on. It's a pretty disconnected board. I think we get to bet quite a decent frequency here. And with this hand, I am just going to bet fold. I don't think that there are too many great turns. We definitely don't want to check raise. We'll raise up the double suited. Somewhat connected queen. We do have a different HUD going on today. We're having some issues with HM3 was not running correctly on the HUD side, so pretty much similar stats here across the top though. And you can see the aggression numbers listed out, and then the bet and fold frequencies on the second line. At 50 PLO, I am going to dial back the aggression a little bit. I think some of the ranges are protected a little bit more. You know, when people check back in position or don't c-bet out of position, I have been stepping very aggressively. At 25 PLO, probably want to reduce that a little bit. At 50 PLO, and we are playing on a Thursday pretty early-ish, so might have some decent players in the mix. Me folding here without the nut suit. Nut suit, we could open this hand for sure. And we will defend here with the double suited jacks. And on this flop, out of position, obviously we don't really have a leading range on an ace-jack 5 board. Calling out the big blind will be at quite a range disadvantage. Not too much reason to raise here. there's going to be some turns that are very difficult to play. Obviously, our opponent still has all of the aces in his range. So we will just be calling against the small size. That is one of the worst turns. The turn that we would have quite a lot of leads on. And I just think that given that, you know, we block the backdoor clubs, we obviously block the pairs, 2 pairs heavily, it's just very likely that our opponent connects with that card. And so we are going to check here and potentially check fold. It's a little worse on the river. We're going to raise this up against 100% VPIP and 90% VPIP player. So I don't think there's any reason to bluff. I don't think that we win much here at showdown. Hands that he's going to check back on the turn. He's not going to check back too many flushes, but he will have hands like 2 pair and a gut shot, or a pair and a gut shot that he's now like giving up on and trying to get to showdown, which now is that he's probably not going to fold. And that was a pretty good run out for us in the end. So we flopped the straight here. We did raise. We are heavily blocking the board. This is a board that we're going to check quite frequently. There's just not too much our opponent can stab with on this board. And why I may lean towards leading. Just for small sizing. But we get no action. And we'll obviously be calling them in 3-bet here. Not ideal if this goes 3-way. Really devalues our flush draws. But we still have a connected enough hand to call. And then we can just check fold this flop. No business in bang. And this guy is not going to require much to stack off at an SPR of 1. And he flush draw pretty much most pairs. I actually want to lead this board. I'll lead a little larger than half pot, given that it is a limped pot. Here's some equity, and I don't expect too many raises in position there. Connected queens on the button. Going to be an open and calling a 3-bet, which we do get. And we are flopping pretty well at the start of this video in 3-bet pots. So we obviously have the board pretty locked down, but I just don't think that we block enough of the continuing range to look to check back. Like obviously overpairs, like aces and hearts are always calling. You can have pairs and gut shots, 2-pair type hands. Unfortunately, again, no action, but if we had like the straight, a pair blocker and then up flush draw or something, then we start getting into the overkill on the board and we can check back. But when you're in position with your value hands, you're going to be banging most of them, so you're looking for the kind of extreme exceptions to check back. You know, we do get to slow play a bit more in 3-bet pots, Just because of the lower SPR, it's easier to get all of the money in over the 3 straights. But there, I think that there's just there's enough there that he can continue with. So we flop, overpaired, got shot, backed off flush draw. I think we have some decent playability on turns. We have showdown value. I think this is a good hand to check back. And I don't mind going for a small bet here just to leave our range somewhat uncapped, so we can bluff some turns. Do need some protection against straight draws and singular pairs as well. Usually against these types of players, you see them lead the flush on the turn. So now when he calls, I mean, there's going to be a mix of hands in his range. We do block some of the weaker like flushes, so having like the jack of hearts makes me think it more likely that he does not have a flush. Because as we said, likely to lead. I don't think that we're ever good here with aces. The straight completes on the river. Maybe this isn't the best player to go for it against. And yeah, okay. Pretty standard. I just don't think we ever win at showdown there. Here with the 10s on the straight board. I think we're just going to check back. There are obviously some rivers that we have showdown value, and also that we can bluff on the straightening cards. And then we have a clear value bet. I'm just gonna fold. I would maybe want to play pots with this weaker player, but he's so short that it's somewhat irrelevant, and he can obviously just find some jams behind. King 10 9-9 against this player. I mean, he's been very active. He's hardly raised any hands, so playing in position against him here, I think we have very clear visibility on a lot of flops with this hand. Yeah, I mean, he's going with the aces, I guess. Which is fine. I do not like the pot into 2 players on this board. We flop the no flush draw, no backup. We have 1 pair, I guess. I'm just gonna check call here. No spade blocker. I mean, we have the jack, but I just don't think we interact enough with the board to block ranges, and we're not really going to be able to leverage too much over 3 streets with his small stack. We could raise fold this hand. He's very short, so he likely is going to get it in somewhat light. And on this turn, we are just going to check fold to the likely pot size bet that is coming. And I'm not sure how I was checking down over here, but obviously wouldn't have checked down that straight. And try and play some large pots out here. I am just going to shove. I think there's straights that can call us at this point. You can have flushes, obviously. No real value in checking because he is just going to check back straights. And we don't particularly block any of those. So we can clear jam. Disconnected board, backdoor flush draw, no real good turns for us here. I think this is a pretty standard c-bet. Should have sized down there, given the smaller stack of our opponent, and we could have bet there for closer to like a third. I'm just going to fold this out of the small blind. Really just still at these stakes with the high rake environment. You just want to be playing mostly a 3-bet or fold strategy out of the blinds. So we turn the... Yeah, it's a limp pot, I mean... I'm not sure what we're representing by betting here. We're just folding here after whipping on the flop. So we'll just check it down. So we flop a set here out of position in a limp pot. Against this player, I'm actually going to bet this hand and just like stop building a pot. I don't think he's ever really going to stab too much given his aggression factor. And hopefully we can find some bad tables than having this short stack guy here. You could argue this is probably not an open with this guy in the small blind, but his 3-bet percentage is very low, in fact, 0. Bottom pair here. 2 backdoor flush draws. I think the board's just too coordinated and we don't interact well enough with it to expect many folds, so take a check back and then potentially play more aggressive on turns. This being one of the turns that we're going to stab at. Take it down. We do block a pair. Not flush blocker here. Obviously somewhat connected with the queen 9. And once we have this turn in, there is no real reason to continue betting here. We have showdown value. Well, not really too much anymore, but blocking the 6 here I don't think is a great candidate to bluff raise. Maybe if we had a 9, especially when we block the ace of spades, because we block some of his continues on the flop. Here I'm debating check raising against a bet. I think that we would like to have some other blockers in there. I do expect him to stab with flush draws, so I think this is a relatively decent turn that we can lead on. Just gonna lead small here. And we take it down. And we flop top pair here, out of position. Not a great top pair, but we can check call with a bunch of overcards and a heads up pot. Obviously not great runouts, but and on the straight completing card, we'll have some leads here, but not many. You know, not many 5-6 in our range. We do have some S5, but without diamonds, no sense in betting, and I think we can check fold this turn. Half pot though actually makes me want to raise even without blockers. We flop top and bottom pair here with a nut backdoor flush draw. I think we want to check. I am actually going to go for the raise, which is a little bit out of line. To be honest, we do get called. So I think here we have, oh, the nuts. I was going to say a bluff catcher, but the nuts now. So we do pick up showdown value on the river. We unblock diamonds. We unfortunately don't really block the straight. I'll see if this guy's going to bluff at it. I just expect him to be jamming straights on the river, and then what is he going to bet for value here? Maybe a set. We obviously like block some of those sets. I am likely going to call here. We could run into like ace 5, but we do block that. I mean, I would think that he just jams. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and we do have the missed flush draw. And to jump into kind of my reasoning on the raise turn, on the raise on the turn, that's more of an exploitative play based on sort of pool analysis of bet sizing of players on their turn ranges, and the half pot size sizing there is just never seems to be straight, usually leading a lot larger when there is a flush draw on board. And so I do like to raise reasonably aggressively there. And, you know, again, some of your worst bluff raises on one street become your best bluffs or bluff catches on the next street. So obviously there, when we unblock diamonds, it becomes a great bluff catcher. And we could have even like bluffed some runouts if we did not pick up that kind of showdown value with the 2 pair. Pick up a very nice hand on the top left. This is a little bit weak. And we do get the shove, obviously calling it off. And yeah, that's fun. Just the set on the flop. I mean, ideally, could try and pick up some more action here. This isn't great, playing deep heads up with a super short player. So we flop gut shot and weak flush draw. Without the pair blocker, I'm probably not going to bluff raise this hand. I think we have enough equity to call, especially against a half pot size bet. Question is, do we want to lead now? Obviously, without a spade, I think that kind of unlikely. We got min 3-bet here. And against the pot size bet, the open-ender pair and flush draw, I think that we just have to fold here. There are just like not many great turns, rivers for us, unfortunately. Here with the jacks multi-way. A lot of troubling runouts, and we have very marginal hands. I think this is a pretty clear check back. We're gonna struggle probably to get this hand to showdown 3-way, but no sense in betting right now. And here we have a gut shot, 2 backdoor flush draws, and 2 overs. I think we have enough playability to check back. And turn the nuts. So now as the flush draw comes in on the turn, I am going to bet just to try and fold out some overcards. I think at this point, in multi-way pots, someone would have bet an 8. And I'm going to raise small here on the turn. Given that there are a few different straight draws out there. We do see the fold. Probably going to be wrapping this video up shortly. Loose, but so yeah, we go heads up here with the king 7-8-3. Take it down. Let's see if we can get one more interesting hand in this orbit. Flopping bottom 2 here. We're not going to have a leading range, obviously. And we do get the check back. And we now have 3 pair and a flush draw. Again, I think that there's no real need to lead here. I think we can check call. Especially with the 8 blocking some of the straight outs. This is a hand that, I could potentially see check raising too. We flop the gut shot and second up flush draw, so some very non-nut outs on a dynamic board that we probably don't have much fold equity on. I'm just go ahead and check it back. Here, we'll go for the little block sizing. I'll get called by ace queen. Off pot size bet. I think maybe with a nut flush draw we could call here. And we do get the fold. that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us today. We're hitting the 30-minute mark. So make sure that you subscribe and like the video, and stay tuned. We're going to be putting out some more content this week. Also, make sure you check out PLOpokercoaching.com.